Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. Purport. The personality of Godhead is described in the Bhagavad Gita as the most pure, the supreme, and the absolute truth. There is no trace of a tinge of materiality in his person, and thus one who has the slightest tinge of material affection cannot approach him. The beginning of devotional service starts from the point when one is freed from at least two forms of material modes, namely the mode of passion and mode of ignorance. The result is exhibited by the signs of being freed from Kam and Lobh. Kam, that is lust, and Lobha, that is covetousness. That is to say, one must be freed from the desires for sense satisfaction and averse for sense gratification. The balanced modes of nature is goodness. And to be completely freed from all material tinges is to become free from the mode of goodness also. To search the audience of God in a lonely forest is considered to be in the mode of goodness. One can go out into the forest to attain spiritual perfection, but that does not mean that one can see the Lord personally there. One must be completely freed from all material attachment and be situated on the plane of transcendence, which alone will help the devotee to get in personal touch with the personality of Godhead. The best method is that one should live at a place where the transcendental form of the Lord is worshipped. The temple of the Lord is a transcendental place, whereas the forest is a materially good habitation. A neophyte devotee is always recommended to worship the deity of the Lord, Archana, rather than go into the forest to search out the Lord. Devotional service begins from the process of Archana, which is better than going out in the forest. In his present life, which is completely freed from all material hankerings, Sri Narad Muni does not go into the forest, although he can turn every place into Vaikuntha by his presence only. He travels from one planet to another to convert men, gods, kinnaras, gandharvas, rishis, munis, and all others to become devotee of the Lord. By his activities, he has engaged many devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and many others in the transcendental service of the Lord. A pure devotee of the Lord, therefore, follows in the footstep of the great devotees like Narad and Prahlad and engages his whole time in glorifying the Lord by the process of kirtan. Such a preaching process is transcendental to all material qualities. Hare Krishna. Is there anything below this also, Prabhuji? Or is the end? That's it. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, um, so here, Lord is speaking to Narad Muni, and we just the last flow that how Krishna, like God, had to give him special, by his causeless mercy, as we were discussing. Narad Muni was able to hear the Lord and see the Lord. So here it is saying that I regret that during the lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. So, so Lord is saying that Narad Muni would not be able to see him anymore, and Prabhupada is describing in the purport that why is it so? And the reason is that he is not completely free from all material taints, that those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. And again, Prabhupada is describing what does this mean. This means that we need to be, or to see Krishna or God, we need to be transcendental to all the three modes of material nature. And Prabhupada says the devotional service starts when one has overcome at least two of the material modes, that is mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So devotional service cannot even start when unless we are in the mode of goodness. So we have to be in the mode of goodness for the devotional service to really take good hold. Uh, so earlier we are just working on getting and transcendenting those two initial modes of nature that we are in, the mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And then once situated in the mode of goodness, we can really try to progress in bhakti. And even mode of goodness is not where we want to be. The goal is not to be in the mode of goodness. The goal is to transcend even the mode of goodness and not just do, and that is the same concept kind of that we discuss when we are talking about karma, vikarma, akarma. It's kind of, we don't even want karma. We don't even want results of the good deeds. We always talk about all, the three chains. And the good deeds are like the golden chain, but it still keeps us captivated in this material world. So we don't even want that chain. We don't even want the gold chain, because even with a gold chain, you're still captivated. You're still, bound by it. Maybe a chain of gold, but it's still binding. So it will keep us in this circle of birth and death, because we'll have to suffer, quote unquote, the good karmas also. So that's why we try to get into a karma. And here also again, once we are in bhakti, the mode of goodness, then we try to transcend it, and then only the true devotional service can be there. And that's why we say the true devotees are transcendent even in this material being over here in the material world. They are transcendental. And then Prabhupada goes on to say that such a person who's transcendental doesn't necessarily has to go to the forest to find Lord, because once you're transcendental, then you can, even being wherever you are, you can kind of see Lord. And we should follow yad yad acharti shreshtas, that we should try to follow on the path of the great devotees like Narad Muni, Prahlad Maharaj. They did not necessarily go to forest. They like Narad Muni in this present life here. Like, I mean, when currently what he does, he does not go and sit in a forest alone just thinking about Lord. He goes around from different planets to different planets, and he makes more devotees. Like, he was the spiritual master of so many great people that we know, like Prahlad Maharaj, Vyasdev himself. Just right now he's talking to Vyasdev. So that is what we need to learn from these great people, that or even for neophyte devotees, Prabhupada is saying, initially, we should not try to go to the forest to try to seek Lord. Instead, the process of archana is what is recommended. Archana being deity worship.
Okay.
We do deity. Yes, Mataji is saying something.
No, no.
No.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what I'm saying is that the process of deity worship is recommended for initial neophyte devotees, as well as to stay in the temple, and that ways we will be able to streamline our consciousness such towards Krishna, and be able to um, worship and try to see the Lord in that, rather than trying to go to the forest and try to see Lord over there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Nirbhay Prabhu was talking about Narad Muni and other devotees, their example, and Yadi Yada Charti Shreshtas. I was thinking of something closer to home. So, we recently went to visit Atul Prabhu and Anisha Mataji. So their house was an example of a temple that one should have in Kali Yuga. And it is just like visiting the dham. So that is being, when Prabhu was reading this line, I was reminded of their home. I can't find that line anymore about ashram. One should live in the temple, something like that. Oh, yes. A neophyte devotee always recommended to worship the deity of the Lord rather than going to the forest to search. Devotional service begins with the process of archana. So that was very inspirational for me, because typically, we have a house where we live, and Krishna just has we have a separate room as a temple. You can't see Krishna, nothing. But Prabhuji, Mataji's home, Krishna is in the center. That truly means it means to keep Krishna in center. You can see Krishna from everywhere. So you can stay in Krishna consciousness. There is no way to avoid Krishna consciousness, because you can see Krishna from everywhere. So you are in that consciousness. And it was a blissful experience. And that is what it means. That is the kind of home one needs to build in this Kali Yuga, where Krishna is in the center. Exemplary temple in the center of the house, where you are just the servants on the side and Krishna is in the main focus. That's all I wanted to share. Please, everybody add.
Thank you for sharing, Mataji and Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question here. Like in the previous verse, we read that Narad Muni is saying that he could hear with the mercy of Lord, he could hear the Krishna. But here in this, it's saying that the Krishna is saying that you will not be able to see me. So, so in the previous verse, he could hear Krishna saying that you will not be able to see me in this life. So that means Narad Muni was not freed from these material things, or what it means, Prabhuji. I mean, I do not want to use any word which is offensive. I don't know. So just explain this, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, my understanding is that it was aparipak, like, it's not ripened. The seed of devotional service was there in Narad Muni's life. Narad Muni was in his initial life, he was the seed for bhakti had been sown in his mind by the sannyasis that he served, and he tried to attain, the the best level of devotional service in that life, but it had not, he had not completely transcended the all three modes of material nature at the time. That is my understanding, Mataji. That is why it is saying that that Krishna, and that could be based upon, whatever previous baggage he had, from previous lives. Who knows? We don't know. It's not mentioned over here. But he was not ready for going back to Dham in that life, and that is why Krishna's and actually it was the mercy, again causeless mercy of the Lord, that Lord came and showed him his glimpse and talked to him, because after that we'll see Narad Muni was just always thinking about Krishna. It's like, you get something really really nice, and then it finishes, and then you're always thinking about it. Oh wow, that was so good. Something that you eat that you really liked, or then you can always think back to it. Wow, that was so good. Sometimes we make something, really nice, and hey, us par bahut acha bana tha. We're thinking about it like that. And then here Narad Muni is getting the most perfection uh, kind of thing. But he gets a glimpse of it. He gets Krishna for a glimpse, and then the rest of this life he's always thinking about Krishna, and that is what gets him the perfection in the next life. So that is my understanding, Madhuri. Does that answer?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Now, yes. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
The question is, in the 10 offenses we read frequently, in that one is like something like a devotee should not means talk about devotional things in front of non-devotees, right? One point is there, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So when we say that we need to spread the name of holy name of Lord, so when we are spreading the holy name, isn't the case the society is full of non-devotees? Like, means we are at the very lowest level, and there is people who are already non-devotees. Then
Yes, Prabhuji.
how can we do this thing? Means it is not contradictory that
So,
10 of
Prabhuji, it's yes, it's a very good question, Prabhuji. Um, so I had also initially had this question. Let's just read to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. That's the ninth offense. To
right.
instruct a faithless person about glories of the holy name. Now, faithless here, in based upon what I have been, told about this subject, from what I understand, is faithless doesn't mean somebody who doesn't know about Krishna. Okay,
Mhm.
faithless means somebody who does not want to hear about Krishna. He is envious of Krishna. Such
Okay.
a person is faithless. Somebody who does not want to hear at all, like, and or can be offensive, and that is, so let's say if let's say you're talking to people about Krishna, and a devotee always wants to spread the name of the Krishna. He's very compassionate. So it's the usual another example that's given for this is like if you see a really good movie, you want everybody to see it, or you eat something really nice, you want your friends and close ones to people to also taste it. So just like that, a devotee finds this real jewel of Krishna consciousness, and he wants to spread it to everyone. Wow, look what amazing thing I have. I want to share it with everyone. So he wants to share it and give it to everybody that they mean. And they're like, sometimes we say like that, or sometimes, it's, why is somebody not able to understand this? But we forget that how long it took for us to understand, and even still we are not fully understanding,
Right.
right? And so that is the condition that we are in, but still we can, even in our stage, we can feel that we really want to spread it, to give it to others, because it's such an amazing knowledge, amazing thing, and everybody should have it. So devotee is like that. He's very compassionate. He wants everybody to be able to go back to Godhead, and he doesn't see that somebody is unqualified, let's say, to get this knowledge. He says nobody is not qualified to get this knowledge. Everybody should be able to get this knowledge. However, a faithless person is somebody who, on hearing this, starts arguing, starts saying negative things about Krishna, things like that. That is a faithless person who's envious of Krishna, is not even ready to hear about Krishna. That is an envious person. For such a person, it is recommended for their own good, because if they are blaspheming Krishna, if they are saying negative things about devotees, about Krishna, then their bank balance is going negative, spiritual bank balance. So you are not doing a favor, you're not really helping them by trying to give Krishna to such a person. Such a person is committing more offenses, and it will become even more difficult for them to get the devotion. So just wait for the time when Krishna has their mercy. The right time will come, and they will get the seed of devotion in their heart, or they will be able to hear from some higher devotee who may be able to change their heart. But such a person should not be taught about or talked to about with about Krishna consciousness, because then we are not really helping them. We are actually doing a disservice if we try to keep talking about Krishna to such a person and they commit offenses against the holy name or to Krishna.
So in normal case, we can talk about Krishna and talk about the books of Prabhupada,
Yes, we should.
and spread and ask the relative and children that keep try chanting and all these things. We can do those things, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. We should do that as much as possible. We should do that. So that's the instruction from.
Yeah, it was a confusion. It was a big confusion since the beginning of this chapter itself. But I couldn't ask earlier. But today I got the opportunity to ask this means, ambiguity I had earlier. But now, thanks for clarifying my doubt. Yeah.
Sure, Prabhuji. I hope I was able to clarify. Other devotees are welcome to pitch in, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So
Hare
this was
Krishna.
also my one of the biggest doubt, Prabhuji. And then I always used to blame myself that, I have not reached to a stage, or, I am not able to explain about Krishna well, that people are, hearing, or, trying to discuss with me. But, the explanation, the way you explained it clarifies so much. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think now I know how to, I mean, how to distinguish where to speak about Krishna and where not to speak.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to add one or 2 points. Prabhu explained so nicely, but this is such a common doubt that it's very nice to clear it up. Thank you, Prabhuji, for bringing this up. So, following in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is our duty to try to give Krishna as much as possible. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not look at anybody's qualifications, right? Prabhupada did not look at anybody's qualifications. Anybody else would have quickly disqualified those hippies sitting on the streets doing drugs as somebody who's not, who cannot be instructed in Krishna consciousness. How can we give knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to these people? But look at those people; they went on to become some of the pure devotees. So as conditioned souls ourselves, it is very hard to judge who is faithless or has any faith. So we are originally part and parcel of Krishna. So this seed of devotion, this need for love for Krishna is somewhere very deeply buried inside us. It's just layers and layers of conditioning, layers and layers on top of that seed that are not letting it sprout. So we just have to try to water it and see if anything will happen or not. You just test the waters, just talk to people. If somebody doesn't seem very favorable, then we just give them prasadam or just give them the books. Maybe they'll eventually come around to the process. So just like with me, for example, there are so many people that tried before I would, or so many other people that I know. It takes a long time because there is so much conditioning. Layers and layers of dirt needs to go away. So our duty is to give Krishna as much as possible. If you don't think somebody's favorable, then you just give them prasadam and wait until they will come around. If not this in this life, then whatever prasadam they ate, whatever books they read, whatever mockingly, even if they said Hare Krishna, will give them some benefit. So maybe next life they will come around. Like Amuglila Prabhu says, right? You just have to keep striking the wall. You may not be able to break it today, but you just, the next person will come and strike it, and one day the wall will fall. So you will make a difference. But what is our duty? We may not see the results, maybe even in our lifetime, but our duty is to spread and give Krishna as much as possible.
So Mataji, as Prabhuji explained, if somebody is like envious of Krishna and we figure it out that that person doesn't want to listen about Krishna, then we should know, right? That okay, this is not the person whom I should talk about.
Yes, Mataji. Then you just try to give them. You give them prasadam. Sorry, I think the voice was doubling up. I was saying, Mataji, we can always give them. So Krishna Prabhupada made such a nice process where we can feed people prasadam to cleanse their consciousness, engage them in kirtan, and depends on their favorability. If you think you're going to be very offended by any kind of Krishna conscious topics, then it's fine to stay away. And but just stay. We never break the relationship. You just maintain the relationship, and slowly with your acharan, with your changes in you, people will see that how your life got transformed. And you just stay in touch with those people, and if they are somewhat favorable, then whichever way they are favorable, try to cater to that. If they will engage in kirtan, fine. If they will read some books, fine. If they will eat prasadam, fine. Whatever. So there are so many things that can be done. If nothing, then you just at least maintain the relationship and just show them by your own example.
Thanks, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, are you okay with that discussion? You would want to add something?
Yeah, it's very clear. Means good add-on to Prabhuji's points. So thank you, Mataji, for adding these points. Yeah.
I think we have exceeded the time. So
should we chant now, like 11 times Hare Krishna?
I think Rakshita Mataji is sharing something. Mataji, please go ahead.
Mataji, I just want to add one thing that before giving Krishna's name, this is how I feel for myself, that your faith should be very, very strong, because people actually judge with how you act, how you behave. And sometimes it happens that, I also want to talk to people about it and I want to tell them. But there's so many things I'm also, not able to overcome. So at times I think that I should overcome all those things because that they are in my nature. I'm actually struggling. But at the same time, it is very important to have strong faith. That you don't deviate from this path after giving this name to, otherwise it happens that sometimes people say are tum apne aap ko to dekho. So otherwise, and top of that, people also expect this, that if you are doing bhakti, then you should be actually very living a very, very simple life. Sometimes if you meet them and they start judging you once you start bhakti, that is also very challenging for neophyte, like a beginner like me, that if they expect you to dress up in a different way, they expect you to talk a very they really want you to transform and change. So yeah, that is also very important, that your faith should be, because in bhakti, when we talk about bhakti, especially in India's culture, I have seen people when they worship, they follow some movement, then they really transform their dressing style, their talking style, their living style, everything just change. And then people say, okay, they are staying this way, so they can do. But uh, yeah, that is one thing. I think people judge you on that. But yeah, at the same time, if your faith is strong, then there's so many things you are not able to explain. I mean, I face this problem, and yeah, so I'm just sharing my experience. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, all the devotees. So nice points everybody sharing. I just wanted to share a couple of things. I think this is a very, very good point which Sushant Prabhu, Anita Mataji, all the devotees have asked, and Nirbhay Prabhu, Natasha Mataji explained very nicely. If actually we compare different types of religious processes, we see, for example, the life of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, when he was there, he personally did not make more than 50. He did not probably preach to more than 50 Christians. Like, he did not make more than 50 Christians, I heard. Definitely not 100, right? And his point was how to bring people close to God. And he showed by his example of compassion in different ways. Similarly, we see the life of Muhammad, for example. He also he did have some success, more success. Maybe he made few hundred Muslims or something. But actually, we see in the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going in Sankirtan, it is described that hundreds and millions of people actually were going with him. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to South India, there one Kurma Brahmin, he wanted to just leave everything, come with Lord Chaitanya, and he said, no, don't say like that. You stay where you are. You stay where you are, and yare dekhe tare kaho Krishna upadesh, amara agya hai guru hoy tare desh. That whoever you see, whoever you meet, you tell about Krishna and be the teacher at your place, bringing everyone close to Krishna. So, of course, there are so many inhibitions we have like this, doubts. Um, part of the reason why doubt comes is because of us not being able to fully taste the richness and the value of Krishna consciousness, like all the devotees are saying, Akshita Mataji and others. If we taste the value, we will naturally want to give it to others. Like Nirvana Prabhu said, if you have so much, something valuable, something nice, and you have an abundance, then you will share it. It will be natural to share with your family, right? What will you do, a single person? So similarly, to the greater family, you will naturally do if you are relishing. Then the question will not come. Let's say you have billions of dollars. You are not going to think before giving it to your son or your daughter or your wife or giving to charity, right? You will want to give. Somebody doesn't know value and he needs it. You will explain how this thing is going to, be valuable to the other person and make arrangements. So the very reason we are having this question is because of not understanding. And Nirvana Prabhu nicely mentioned that how we have to avoid those who are envious. But at the same time, we have to share it with those who are innocent. So the faithless actually can become devotees depending upon how we present and relate it to them. Not necessarily 100%, but many of them. So we have to be praying to Krishna to use us as an instrument for giving this to others. And to the extent we pray to Krishna, to that extent, Krishna will give us the intelligence how to give this to others, because everybody is actually looking for Krishna only. Now, we may be at a certain level. We should not wait ki nahi, jab main pure devotee, when I will be a pure devotee, then I will give. No, not like that. One has to have the enthusiasm of giving. Srila Prabhupada said once a child, Saraswati was saying, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada said she is the greatest preacher because she knows one thing, and this is only she is saying. So preacher means whatever you know, you tell that. That's it. If you know more, you tell more. If you know less, you tell less. And you try to apply in your life. So we cannot wait. Time is running away. We have to ourselves be very, very serious about this and try to pray to Krishna that let me be an instrument in your hands to share this knowledge with others if it's your desire. So ultimately we have to please Krishna. So whatever way he wants us to serve, we should be ready to serve in that way. But actually everybody is looking for Krishna. If they don't have faith, then we go with indirect ways. We tell sometimes indirect methods devotees take by explaining to them how the health benefits or material benefits of doing Krishna consciousness, or scientifically how it is matching modern science. So all these are indirect ways by which those who practically don't consider scriptures as authority may start giving a thought to this. So these are the ways by which they eventually will have some understanding to Bhagavad Gita. Like for example, first time when me, Nirbhay Prabhu, one of the first meetings we attended, one question was asked, whom, when you are having a close friend, what is one consideration you see in that close friend? And then different people were giving different answers. And one of our seniors, he gave an answer, faith in God. So I was very surprised, and so was Nirbhay Prabhu, that faith in God, this is the consideration before considering someone as friend. So at that time, our level was that we didn't have any such considerations. But of course, you know, now we can see ourselves how things have changed. And like Natasha Mataji also giving example of hers, that how initially these things may not be, making sense, but now, she is having so much knowledge. So this all depends actually on Krishna's mercy. Like when Krishna removes the uh, curtain, then only we are able to see. Otherwise, we don't know what is behind the curtain. So many people are behind the curtain, and Krishna has given youth the opportunity of being able to remove the curtain for them. To whatever extent you are seeing, you can share with them. And we don't have to necessarily insincerely tell everybody that we know everything. We have to be serious, sincere, and honest that what we know, we at least can share that. And when they see that we are serious, sincere, honest, and we connect them to those who can be more helpful than us, then that way they will grow spiritually, right? So we have to show them the path and connect them with those whom they can relate and can learn from more. So this way, it's actually not just something which we can do, but we should do. Like Nirbhay Prabhu and Natasha Mataji was emphasizing that this is actually our duty. Because if we have been given some understanding of Krishna consciousness and we don't share with others, then we are misers. Then we are actually not doing the best. And in the process, when we share it with others, we learn, we'll grow. Like Rakshita Mataji was telling that she feels like sharing with others. Now, sometimes Krishna will test, and our efforts may not necessarily be successful. And that is to humble us. Sometimes Krishna is going to make us be in situation where we are not able to explain the other person exactly and convince them, because that is the process Krishna is giving us to learn, to brainstorm, to figure out how I can present it to them in even better way. And in that process, our conviction grows stronger. Practically, this is something which you will see those who share it with others actually becomes more serious in Krishna consciousness. Why? Because now they are thinking deep about it. Now they are thinking how Krishna conscious works. They are thinking it for others, but in the process they are getting benefited. And of course they get a lot of mercy also, because Krishna says in the 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita, right towards the end, that such a person who shares it with others is most dear to me. Nobody is as dear to me as that person. So therefore, it will become more and more clearer to us. Krishna will reveal us more when we are seriously, sincerely wanting to be an instrument in the hand of Krishna, and not with a mood that, oh, I will tell it to others and then, I will become famous, not for name, fame, prestige, or any of that, but actually wanting to be a servant in the hands of Krishna. Like Hanumanji, he was there in the in the Sena, but he was not the king. He was just one of the persons there, and he was happy in that way. He did not boast himself, "Arey, mere ko main Sita, I found the Sita." No, he didn't say that. It was just that we found her. So this is how a devotee is. Point is, more and more people should get this, and Krishna's service should spread. And if we are given a chance to serve and we are made an instrument, the only thing we can do is be grateful for that. So that is the mood of a devotee. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to take that long, but just want to share a few thoughts. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. As all devotees are here, can I also mention that today is my mom's birthday? So just wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. And
Hare Krishna.
So we
Hare
can
Bol.
pray for Mataji. Is she there in the conference right now?
Yes,
Mataji
Prabhuji.
there, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you.
To
Hare
you.
Krishna
Hare
to you.
Krishna to you.
Hare Krishna,
Dear
dear
Nilamanji. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
to
to
you.
you. May
May
Radha
Radha
Rani
Rani
bless
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 you.
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 May
May
Radha
Radha
Rani
Rani
bless
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 you.
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 May
May
Radha
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 Rani
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 bless
bless
you,
bless
you.
you,
dear
Nilamanji.
Nilamanji.
May
May
Radha
Radha
Rani
Rani
bless
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 you.
you.
you. May Krishna
Krishna
bless
bless
you.
you.
May
May
Krishna
Krishna
bless
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 you.
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 May
May
Krishna
Krishna
bless
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 you,
you,
you.
dear
dear
Anji.
Nilamanji.
may
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 Krishna
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 bless
bless
you.
Bless
bless
you.
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 Hare
Hare
May
Hare
Krishna.
Bol.
Prabhupada
Hari
God
bless
bless
Bol.
you.
you. May
May Prabhupada
Prabhupada
bless
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 you.
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 May
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 Prabhupada
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 bless
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 you.
you,
you.
you.
Nilamanji.
May
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 Prabhupada
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 bless
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 you.
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 Hare Krishna,
Thank
Hare
you to all
Krishna,
devotees.
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram.
Hare Hare.
Hare.
So we'll chant 11 times Hare Krishna, praying for everybody. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram.
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
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 Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for your blessings because I really need those blessings. I am the most retarded one of the class. So I really need these blessings. Thank you so much.
We need your blessings, Neelam Auntie. We need your blessings so that we can continue practicing nicely. And, like you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare Krishna. Nirve, Prabhu, you should have told in the beginning, told in the end. So maybe we can talk a little bit more. You can share about Mataji tomorrow.
Sure,
Make your
Prabhuji.
offering for her.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sindhubhya evacha
Vasudevija
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namaha.
Namo
Namo
Srimad
Namaha.
Namaha.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai,
Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Jai.